I'm El Donzo,
I'm Deez.
and what the hell is going on in the news this week, Deez?
Quite a bit, actually.
We and something I think we need to get to is we touched on last week, and this was breaking news as we were recording the show. We touched on it. Donald Trump got handed 37 indictments,
Yes.
and can you pull that story up real quick? We're gonna tie this into what's going on with Joe Biden and the $5 million that he and Hunter Biden got from Burisma, which was obviously a pay-for-play scheme. Um, Pull that story up. Let's recap since last week what's going on. This is something that's really pissed me off about everything going on in the world today. Um, how it seems like we live in a banana republic at this moment. Who would have ever thought that the so-called leader of the country, which would be Joe Biden, could weaponize the Department of Justice so bad that they could actually charge his opponent, which let's face it, Trump's I think he's like 61% and DeSantis is 31% at best in the polls. So he's leading, obviously. He's going to be the front runner. The fact that they can do this to him is absurd. And we're going to get into that. And kind of like going back to the show's opener, we're going to talk about this alien stuff a little bit more, I think. I think it needs it because I think it ties into this Joe Biden thing getting paid from Burisma and then also Trump getting indicted. I think there's a tie in with that the more we look at it. Okay, like I said, heavy news week. Deez and I have been talking about this. We've been going back and forth with it. I believe these are all three tied together, but Deez, I'm going to throw it to you, brother. You go ahead and recap this whole indictment shenanigans. And if I'm not mistaken, the indictments came down. I think it was within the 24-hour period of us finding out that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden each got $5 million from Burisma.
Same. Yeah, it was basically the same day that both of those were breaking, and of course, we didn't learn of the actual counts on the indictment until I believe it was either Friday or Saturday. It was released, if I'm not mistaken.
And even then, there wasn't a whole lot there, but it was something like he had documents stored on the stage at Mar-a-Lago and all this foolishness. And some of these don't sound great, but to be honest with you, with everything I've seen that comes out of the DOJ and the federal government nowadays, first of all, I don't believe any of them. Yeah, they could be real, but how do you believe after like Russia collusion, everything they've done to Trump? How can you even believe this is correct? But anyway, let's go ahead and recap it for the listeners or those that haven't been following it.
Yeah, well, they ended up hitting him with 37 felony counts stemming from the investigation that took, what, 6, 8 months, something like that. I don't even.
Since raid at Mar-a-Lago.
Been that long. Um, and a lot of them are the same. There are, I believe, 6 counts of obstruction of justice and false statements, which basically ties to, yeah, we'll get you the documents, blah, 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 and then not. Um, a lot of them, in my opinion, are pretty much BS, but there are a couple, and in the did you read the indictments in the
Yes, I read
a couple of instances where they actually have quotes and stuff uh, where I think Trump is going to be in trouble is where they have him on tape talking to I believe it was an interviewer for a book or
There's a
something
couple
like that.
people. So this was the big thing about this. Now, when you listen to the transcript of it, let's say they do have a tape. People would come out and go, "Whoa, this is bad," but actually listen to it. I think there's a cop out here. Nobody, and we've talked about this previously on other shows. Nobody has really been able to tell you how and if a president can declassify documents. Excuse me, nobody can really tell me what the process is for that. Nobody. And Megan Kelly was talking about this on her show. She made a really good point. There is no process. Nobody can say either way. So you've kind of got this precedent there that he can declassify documents at as well. Now, what he says in this supposed tape, if you read the transcripts, is he says, "I could have declassified this, but look at it. Look at it." Now we don't know he's showing a document. Okay, we don't know that. He can just say, "Hey, I declassified it, and that was it." He could say, "Hey, I didn't have the document. I was showing him something else. I was showing him notes from this that was pulled out."
Yeah, but
they
that
don't know.
by the wording in the indictment, that doesn't matter. It's the simple fact that he basically is admitting, because he says, as president, I could have declassified this. Basically, and what they're going to use that against him is saying he is saying right there and then this document is not declassified.
But how do you know he should? The big question was he showed a declassified document to somebody. Where's the evidence that what he was showing to them was actually declassified? This is a big can of worms, okay?
Right.
And the problem is with this.
It's all going to depend on the jury. But the simple fact is he admits, at least in the eyes of whatever's Jack Smith.
Yeah, Jack Smith's a blowhard. But anyway, go ahead.
In the eyes of him and what he's going to try and present is that, look, he is right here on tape saying, I could have as president, but not. It's still classified. That's what they're going to use to try and hang him.
Yeah, well,
and he's literally facing, what, 400 years in prison?
Yeah, well, I want to talk about the try to hang him thing here in a second. But something I really want to get into here. This is unprecedented. There's no proof that he actually gave this guy the classified document and had him read it. And him having classified documents is no big deal, okay? Unless it's something that has to do with our defense, which is now they say it may or may not have because they wanted to start a war with Iran.
Yeah, no, he clearly said that the document he was referring to was the attack.
Right. Did he actually show that document? Did he hold it up to read it? There's a lot of
I don't think that matters though in the eyes of this case. He isn't on indicted for showing the documents. He's indicted for having them and lying about having them, and that's what they're going to use. It don't matter if he posted it on Facebook. The fact is that he had it and on tape admits that he could have but did not declassify that particular document because he just found it. I think that's what they're going to use. Now, is it BS? Yeah.
Yeah, they are, because if you go back to Hillary Clinton, who smashed up her Blackberries.
Nuh-uh.
She had it. Yeah.
Keith Olbermann said no.
Screw Keith Olbermann. I got that story too. We're going to cover that one in a little bit. But the fact that they let her get away with all this, and then James Comey comes out and says, well, it was more negligence. She made a mistake. And then you got Joe Biden, who they found classified documents in his garage, all right, next to the Corvette where Hunter was smoking his crack. Nothing came from that. We know, you and I know this is a witch hunt. This is, in the grand scheme of things, that politicians could do wrong. This is not a big deal.
Agreed.
Now, and you made a really good point about going after Trump for this, and you did it on Facebook too, and I was really happy to see this. You're talking about a guy that may have kept a classified document that he didn't declassify in his mind because there's no precedent for that. This is potatoes. You're all worked up about this guy. Meanwhile, you have a modern-day Benedict Arnold in the White House right now selling out our country. He's been doing it. Because I'm going to tell you something. This guy didn't just grift once. Grifters don't grift once and it's like, okay, I'm never doing that again. They keep doing it, and they keep doing it, and they keep doing it. He was selling U.S. foreign policy for money.
Yeah.
All right? We all knew it beforehand, but we really know it now. And that's kind of like a kick in the butts to everybody. We are literally living in a banana republic. The only reason these indictments came out was because Joe Biden wanted them to come out because they're scared to hell that Donald Trump could actually grasp this again. And I'm going to say it right now. And you can disagree with me if you want to. But at this point, what I see going on, everybody needs to get behind Trump. This is not about Orange Man or if he has bad tweets. I don't care what he tweets. All of the Republican frontrunners, in my opinion, should step down and support him. Because I'm going to tell you, if they're going to cut Donald Trump out, they ain't going to make it either. The only way to beat these people is to get overwhelming numbers of votes for somebody that ain't Joe Biden. Overwhelming. That's the only way to beat it because they're going to try anything they can. I guarantee you they will not let Donald Trump become president again without fighting over it.
No, we need to make them fight. I tend to agree with you. But again, and this isn't 2 points I'm going to make. First one, I agree with you, and yeah, but it's not going to happen. Second point I'm making is Trump's got to be smarter than this.
Smarter than what?
Why? And he ain't the only one. Obviously, we know Biden did it too. But like the pictures to where you just see these boxes sitting on the stage in an open ballroom. Like, come on, man.
Dude, like, stop. We don't know he did it. We don't even know that's what's in the boxes. All right, look at all the other indictments Donald Trump's been through. You see stuff, and everybody goes, "Oh, I can't believe he did it." It turns out he didn't do it. Just like he raped E.G.
What do you mean
Carroll
he didn't do it? There's pictures there. Like that's like. If he had no knowledge of it, then he needs to fire everybody that works for him because that's just stupid to store that stuff in a wide open ballroom.
All the BS I've seen come out about Donald Trump and anybody else from the DOJ, I'm not going to believe it until a jury rules on it. Now, good thing is, this is going to Miami-Dade County, which is a red county that supported him, and they actually got a judge that he appointed for this.
Yeah,
That's the only light at the end
and
of the
that's
tunnel.
that's a big crap show too, as far as people think that she should recluse herself.